So what do we got? 2 turbos, 2 intakes, 2 air cleaners, and a whole bunch of tubing that needs to fit into a really tight place. So let's go get a coffee and figure this out. All right, the air cleaners are in. Not 100%. I still got to come up with some sort of cradle mount to hold the 2 air cleaners in place, and I still have to put these mass airflow sensors in there yet, somewhere in the tubing. But before we move on to the hood, I want to take care of this bar here. It's still mocked up right now, so I always wanted to sit back and look at it. And this bar has always bothered me, and I know why. Originally, I just used the hood line here to mount this bar in location to mock it up. But what's always bothered me is the fact that it cuts the intercooler in half. So I think I'm going to cut this bar out and then make a new one that comes up and follows the tanks. And then that gives me a really good framing of the intercooler for the mesh to fit in there to protect it, right? So let's swap this out, change the mounts, and then we'll move on to the hood. Doesn't that look much better? I like the way the bush guards frame in the intercoolers now. I think that looks much better. You can see here the original, or all the oxidization on these tanks. Every time I take the intercoolers out, I slowly polish them a little bit more. If you don't remember, or you're not familiar where this car started, take a look at the first video we put out, and you can see the extent of the damage that is done to this car. I'll leave a link up there. So now that those are in, the air cleaners are in, you know what that means? It's finally time for the hood. So if we take a look at the space that's available to us to play with, everything on the top of the engine here is pretty flat. So I think I might cut the center section out of the hood and drop the sides back down to where they originally were when they closed and angle this stuff up. But I gotta find those lines, and that's the tricky spot. Where's my tape? So I could literally, you can see we got the air intake throttle body and this piece of metal here that's going to interfere with that edge. But as long as I don't come any farther this side of it, I should be able to drop down that side. So if I literally put a tape line there to there, I think that would work. Just drop that edge down. But the problem is, I don't like the way it leaves this rib up here. So I think, because I don't have to bring this down a couple inches at this point, so I don't think it's really going to interfere with anything going on in there. But if I take that and re-angle that edge and get rid of this rib, bring it down, and then bring that down, and sort of offers some character on the hood. But then obviously I can't make this a one piece. I'm gonna have to cut this up a little bit. So I'll have to divide that there. And this piece, when they come together, be separate. This one's going to be, this one's either going to be cut this way or this way. So let's assume it's going to get cut this way for now, or bent, I should say, right? To be bent in this one. I won't be able to make this out of one piece, so I'm going to have to cut this as well. I can use this curve here though, and go from this point up here in the hood to that edge of the corner, and from here to this edge of the corner, and that'll make one piece, two piece with a bend in the middle. Nice roll there, bend here, bend there, join there, and then I should be able to close that edge of the hood all the way down. I still leave enough room here for the air cleaners and such. I've got to fix some damage here in the front. See the way the hood's kind of bent in the middle there? I don't know what happened there, but I think that's, yeah, I think that's gonna work. Either way, let's start with this. I'll cut the center section of the hood, close it down, make some space for the top of the hood here, and start adding some metal. We'll have to work the inner structure as well, but figure it out as we go. Let's just get it done.
Con una pasión tan fuerte. Ay, 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 ay. Ahora sigo cantando y sigo gozando. Yo sigo cantando y sigo gozando.
So that's not so bad. Now that the hood's cut up, we can start to see what the new angles and everything are going to look like. It's actually pretty neat. I'll have to remove or relocate the hood bumpers, I think, maybe to there. When the hood's closed, it doesn't interfere with the rat support, but I don't know what the original hood gap is on a vwthing, but it's probably safe to bet it's a 1/4 inch to 3/8 ish. So I'll go with a 1/4. I think now I'll probably start, once I get the hood gap set up, space up the bottom of the hood there, I'll just build some bridges from the hood to the new location of the hood sides, and then start building some structure, I think. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. So now that the sides are welded on there, I think I can start working on the hood's inner structure, at least to hold it in place so I can get the nose on. Right now I just have it temporarily braced on the front there so the sides are in their exact spot and it won't flop around. All right, so the inner hood structure. I really like these holes, and I think they'll go a long way for letting the heat out of the engine bay, but of course, if you should get caught in the rain, it's probably also gonna let the water in. And on the passenger side, it's actually gonna drop right on top of the fuse panel there. So I thought we'd make a trough. So take some stainless pipe, polish the inside of it, and actually weld it right into the hood structure of the car. In fact, make it part of the structure, right? I think that'd be pretty cool once you see through the holes, just to see this polished strip in there. And then to let the air out, I think I'm just going to cut the sides up higher on it so the wind, or so the air can still get out. And the water, come on, get in there. The water will conveniently drip in a really good spot on the side of the engine there beside the wheel well. Yeah. So the original VW hood sides, or inner structure, they need a lot of work to make them functional again, because I gotta contour it into the back down there, and I gotta repair each one of these sections where I cut the rib out, and this front section's gonna drop. So I thought, the heck with it, it's only like 3 bends, let's just make another one. So I'll just bend something up like this. And then that way, I can actually just make some new square tubing and join it right into this new section of ribs. And there's no rust under here like there is in the original one there. So yeah, let's just make new ribs, get it in there, and then we can work on the front. Still gotta figure out how it's gonna go around these air cleaners here. I might just contour. Anyway, we'll get there when we get there. First things first. All right, check out these holes. I really dig the way that stainless pipe reflects in the background there. It was a bit of a bitch, I'm not gonna lie. I had to tool up to get the right stuff to actually polish the inside of that stainless tubing in there. And now that it's all polished, I really don't wanna have to clean it up ever again. So when it comes time for paint, I'll definitely have to stick something in there to prevent overspray from getting on that tube again. Anyway, all the structure is in there. You can see it, and how the air is going to get out there through the sides of that trough. It should drip if he ever does get caught in the rain. It should drip just right in front of the shock tower there. So that's cool. Yeah, you can see all the side supports are in now. And now we can actually turn our attention to the front. Okay, how did I cut myself there? I just opened a damn hood. Anyway, man. Okay, so the sides, I know this has to curve. This is going to radius over the same radius as this. The front's they're all gonna match up here, so that's pretty straightforward. I'm not sure how the front lip is going to look yet, because I still want to get more air in there, so I'll probably bring it up at some point, and then it'll have to go around the air cleaner, so I don't know how that's going to look. And I still need to come up with a way of, the part that's unknown right now to me is hood latch. I don't want to see like 70s hood pins just poking out with an E-clip or a circlip in there or whatever. So need to figure that one. I might just try to recycle the original GTR latch and put a cable latch in the glove box or something. TBD there. But anyway, let's get the B-roll rolling of the front end, and then we'll revisit what we got to do next.
Al coyote y me fui para la sierra. El coyote era un bandido nacido allá por mi tierra. Lo conocí desde niño, fuimos juntos a la escuela. A las primeras lecciones se sabía lo que intentaba, porque cantaba canciones peleando con su guitarra, y aunque perdiera ilusiones, con sus ojos no lloraba. Aquella noche de mayo le gustó mi María Elena, pero yo llegué a caballo, ya tenía cita con ella. Cuando bajé de la sierra, me encaré con el coyote, y abrazando a María Elena le dije: ya tiene hombre, porque en la ermita sagrada nos casó el cura del monte. Él agachó la cabeza y se fue cobardemente, pero como era coyote se me volvió de repente. Él me buscaba la espalda, pero yo le hallé la frente. Coyote, coyote altivo, que no respetaste amores, pudiendo ser buen amigo, te mataron tus traiciones.
All right, so that's it for the hood. I think it turned out all right. I'm pretty happy with the way the edges turned out. It's kind of funny though, because in the earlier part of this video where I was talking about with all the masking tape and whatnot, man, I was really overcomplicating that. I got all confused in there with this section here. I needed to cut this out, but for some reason I thought I was gonna bend that down, whatever. Anyway, this looks much better. I even really like the way the you know, the holes are in the same line as the old rib that used to be there, right? So there's a representation of that. So that works. And got a good hood gap in there, etc., etc. So the one last thing I have to do to the hood is still put the hood latches in there. But I tried mocking up the GTR style hood latches in there, but they're just too big, and no matter how much I fought it, I couldn't get them in there to a point where I was comfortable with them. So I just got rid of them completely. And then I tried that. So there's a threaded, in the center of the screen there's a threaded hole, and then there's a welded up one down there, but it didn't work out. And that was using a pin to come down into the body, and then I had a quick release pin that went in there. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get the rattle like to go away, right? So I'm just like, nope, got rid of that. Then I decided to go with ye old rubber hood latch. So I just got these in now, and I'll end up mounting them in there. And I think they're self-adjusting, they're quiet. So I think that's just the way to go. It's the reason these things are convenient and they always work. So that's done. The air cleaners, I mounted them to the motor. So the original GTR air cleaners are fixed to there's a carbon rad support in there. So I fixed the air cleaners this time to the actual engine. My thought there is that as the engine moves, you'll see the air cleaners move out the front there. So, oh yeah, and the mass airflow sensor mounts are in the back now too there. So that's pretty cool. Happy with the way that all that came out actually. So let's see. So in the last video, looking at the comments, I noticed people were talking about the VW emblem and how we lost that in there. And yeah, I'm upset about that too, but the intercoolers had to go here because we were just recycling the original intercoolers from the GTR. We probably could have changed it out to a different style of tank, but we had these, so we're just renting with them. But I think what we're gonna do here is, well, we have a potential of doing something interesting here with the grill mesh and the oil cooler grill. Maybe we can bring that VW logo out into the mesh. Let me show you the mesh. So I picked up this stainless woven stainless mesh, which I think I'll use for the grill, just as a stone guard. But there's the VW logo that we use to emboss the grill. So maybe we can actually emboss the metal mesh over top of that to give the grill some structure in there. And I'll have to mock that up, but if that doesn't work out, I'll probably end up going with like a louvers style setup in there. Something maybe not too deep, or obviously I'm exaggerating with my hand, but you get the picture. And then same thing with the oil cooler. Just have to make some sort of frame to hold it all in there, then bolt it in place. Yeah. But hopefully by the time you're watching this video, I've already got that thing sorted out. So what else did we get done? Oh yeah, as you saw in the last video, seat belts. Also got the cage welded, but not installed finally. As you know, I have to paint the car, right? So I'm going to take the cage out and then paint everything, then reinstall the cage and weld it in there. Also got the windshield wiper motor in. The original VW wiper motor is mounted on the driver's side, but in this case we have the instrument cluster there. So I relocated it over here. I just sort of offset it 4 inches there and made a new link bar. I'm really hoping I can get the original VW wiring to communicate to the Nissan wiper switch motor there. Even if it just turns it on like once, and then maybe you'll have to manually park it or something like that. I don't know yet. I gotta look into the wiring on that one. Also got the cage mounts for the window in there, so it's definitely in there now. So no problems with the thing speed record potential there. I guess the last major fab thing we have to do here is the gas tank. But to get the gas tank in, I need to drop the transmission, install the gas tank, then run the filler neck in there. Because I still don't know how or where the filler cap is going to situate there yet. I'll just try to recycle the original VW one, right? But I think that's going to be it for this video. Yeah, so that's going to be it, because the next video is us basically taking this whole thing apart, finishing all the little details and grinds and welds and little bits of fab, and then taking completely apart, like I said, prepping it all for paint, painting it, and then building it all back up to this very stage here, just in a different color. So that's going to be a big one. I'm probably hoping I can do like maybe just do a giant time-lapse video of that with like an epic montage music. I don't know, I gotta figure that one out. And then of course after that, wiring and start it. Yeah. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you've already given it a thumbs up, you might as well subscribe. And then of course, if you've already subscribed, you might as well just hit the notification button. That's it. And then you'll be the first on the block to tell all your friends you've seen the first VW thing GTR conversion. All right, thanks so much for watching.